It's important that you check your cables on any cable machine at least once a week with regular use. Pay special attention to your cable ends. This will ensure a long cable life and ultimately extend the life of your machine. Let's start by inspecting the cable ends. Locate the end of the cable that sits on the sliding carriage. Inspect the U-bracket for any damage and check that the bolt is tight. If you find it loose, use two 5mm Allen wrenches to tighten it completely. Then, check the cable ball and cable ring. The cable ball and ring should be at the very end of the cable, against the U-bracket. If they have moved down the cable at all, simply press them back up against the U-bracket. If at the time of the cable ball inspection you do not see the cable ring, the ring may have traveled further down the cable. You will need to drop the carriage to a lower position, pull the selector pin so there is no resistance on the cable, and slowly pull the cable out until you find the cable ring. Once it is located, slide it back to the end of the cable. Now locate the other end of your cable. On some machines, this end will have a U-bracket, cable ball, and cable ring. On other machines, you will see just a bolt. For machines like this one, inspect the U-bracket and tighten the bolt if it's loose. Additionally, make sure the cable ball and cable ring are positioned at the very end of the cable up against the U-bracket. On this machine, the SF3, if the ring has traveled farther down the cable, then you will have to unhook the red tab attachment end of the cable and pull on the cable to locate the cable ring. Once found, slide it back to the end of the cable. Be sure to hook the red tab cable end back onto the black hook. If you have a machine where the other end of the cable is simply bolted into a part of the machine, check that the bolt is tight. Next, let's inspect the rest of the cables. To do this properly, you will need to remove the top cap so that all upper pulleys are exposed. Follow the cable through the machine to check for damage to the cable itself. You will need to run your hands on the cable to feel for any tearing or splitting. For reference, here's an example of a cable with damage. Now, let's check the cable routing through your pulleys. You will need to locate and check every pulley. You may have pulleys at the top, middle, and bottom of your machine. With improper use or installation, your cable may slide or jump off the pulleys. When this happens, it could look like this, or this. A properly routed cable will look like this. Next, we'll check your cable tension. The cable should have a nice tension and no slack. If it has too much tension, then the top plate will hover above the weight stack and you will not be able to insert the selector pin at every weight plate. If you think your cable tension is off, we'll walk you through how to fix it. We'll do this by adjusting the top plate assembly. First, remove the pulley from the top plate assembly. Now loosen the lock nut below the pulley bracket. Now, if your tension was too tight, you will need to unscrew the top bracket by rotating it counterclockwise. Then tighten the lock nut completely. Reattach the pulley with the cable and check your tension again. If your issue is too much slack, then you would follow these same steps but rotate the top bracket clockwise to tighten it into the top plate assembly. Check your cable tension again and adjust further as needed. If you need further assistance or to order replacement cables, please contact our service team.